So, I've just watched the first take of the Maisie Williams version of this scene, and it's leaps and bounds away from my first take of the scene. I really enjoy basically almost all of it. The part that I don't enjoy is where Hi, I'm Ashley Woods, and I'm coming to you from the obligatory blue backdrop all actors must now have in Los Angeles. Why this color? Fuck if I know. So, I have a confession to make. It took me until quarantine to finally start watching Game of Thrones. I know. Controversial. When my friends finally found out I was watching Game of Thrones in 2020, they said, Ashley, why would you want to bring more disappointment into 2020? Oh, I'm sorry. Was the Game of Thrones finale a disappointment to you? That's so weird because I had only read about it from everywhere. For those of you asking, yes, I know how it ends, and yes, I'm going to keep watching it. I frankly could not give a shit. I just want to see fucking dragons. But this video isn't about how the series ended, or who became king, or who left a coffee cup on set. It's a... Fuck me. This video is about Maisie Williams and her acting technique. Now, if you don't know who Maisie Williams is, she plays Arya Stark on Game of Thrones, and she's also had a handful of other prominent roles in film and TV. She recently gave this amazing interview with Backstage where she described her acting technique, and I found it absolutely fascinating, and I decided that I had to try it. So, I pulled a script, set up a camera, and decided to have a go at it. Maisie's technique is unique to me in a few ways. For one, she says that she aims to have a fully fleshed out performance on the first take. As someone who self-tapes a lot, this is wild to me because I do approximately 8,000 takes for every audition. For example, for this audition right here, I did 10 takes one day, and then I made my boyfriend do 10 more takes with me the next day. Why? I could not fucking tell you. Another thing Maisie likes to do is plug her fingers in her ears, stare at the floor, and repeat lines, phrases, or details about the character. She especially likes to do this before an emotional scene.
I've always just stuck my fingers in my ears and looked at the floor and just repeated stuff to myself, whether it's my lines or whether it's, I don't know, just anything about the scene, especially when things are really emotional. I think as a kid, I used to really convince myself these awful things were happening.
Maisie's technique for self-tapes specifically is to not be afraid of taking risks, especially with regard to including strange props or backdrops. Now, I find this advice especially strange because the LA standard for auditions is currently no props and this strange, obligatory, weird blue backdrop thing that makes us all look like we fucking walked off some B-grade sci-fi set that's not been CGI'd yet, but you know, I could throw in a prop. I'm feeling pretty crazy. Let's throw a prop in. This tape's not being sent to anyone. I wanted to conduct this shoot like an experiment. I'd have one round as a control with little technique or preparation, kind of like a cold read, and one round using Maisie's technique. For the first round, I gave myself an hour to learn the script, and then I launched right into shooting. This is what happened. Can you forget it? No? Then why shouldn't I then do what you've done? Do you blame me? I've forgotten my lines. I obviously cannot get things done on the first take. Yeah, so that was a fail. Let's consider this a dead take. Take 2 was a lot better. I actually remembered my lines, but I also feel like I'm going way too fast here. I mean, just listen to this. Why shouldn't I then do what you've done? Do you blame me? Do you expect it all to be one-sided? Do you blame me for trying to get my own back? Do you know what it's been like living with you? Slow down, girl. Do you know what I've been through? See, when it was slower, I actually connected to the emotion. Oh God. Oh God, I hate you. Oh God. You poor me. So for a first take, I actually don't think that one is bad. Looking back, I really do like the ending, but I desperately needed help at the beginning. So I was absolutely curious to see how Maisie's technique would help with this. I've added a wedding ring. So this is gonna be our first take of the Maisie Williams version of that speech. And she says not to be afraid to use a prop in a self-tape. So my plan is to wear the wedding ring and then fling it on the ground. Hopefully you get that nice cling as it clatters to the ground. And that would be me experimenting with a prop. Also, and there's absolutely no pressure here, but she likes to have her first take be the one, be good. Like something the editor could just run with. I trust you, Maisie. So I realize I look absolutely ridiculous right now, but please just trust me on this. I spent about 30 seconds mumbling lines and the inner monologue of the character to myself, and I think it actually worked. Here's what happened. I've been hurt too, you know? You've done things to hurt me. Cruel things. Not just thoughtless, cruel. On purpose. Do you think I'd forget it? To hurt me? To get your own back? Well then. Why shouldn't I then? Do what you've done? Do you blame me? Do you expect it all to be one-sided? Do you blame me for trying to get my own back? Do you know what it's been like living with you? Do you know what I've been through? Oh God. Oh God, I hate you. Oh God. You bore me. So, I've just watched the first take of the Maisie Williams version of this scene, and it's leaps and bounds away from my first take of the scene. And I really enjoy basically almost all of it. The part that I don't enjoy is where I take the wedding ring off and throw it. And I don't like it for a couple of reasons. One, I want the ring to fall to the ground with a nice clingy clatter, and this ring is far too cheap to actually sound like metal. It definitely sounds like plastic. But that's not my fault, it's not the ring's fault, it's just that I'm a working actor in Los Angeles and I can't afford real jewelry, so there's that. And then the other things that I don't like about the ring throw was that, one, it wasn't very visible on camera. What's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna cheat my hand out and throw it. And maybe a character motivated reason to do that would be I want to make sure that the husband is seeing this, what is happening, that I'm taking it off, maybe almost flaunting him with the fact I'm taking it off and then I'm gonna chuck it in that frame so the camera can see it. The other thing I didn't like about that is that I feel like as soon as I took the ring off, I lost momentum. And I don't know if it's because I was doing some like stage business or if it was because I was like, oh, that's right, I have to use a prop. And I just couldn't commit to it. Hi, yes, Editing Ashley here. I just wanted to add that Maisie Williams absolutely did warn about not committing to your prop and that it can absolutely show up on camera and weaken your performance. So I just wanted to add that, and here's what she said.
I always think that you should just take a really strange risk and like use a really stupid prop, or like just like do something with a crazy background, or like as long as it goes with whatever you're doing.
I couldn't agree more. Like, make a strong choice and like commit to it as well, because sometimes you see strong choices, but if there's like a little bit less confidence than there should be, then it doesn't play out as well. You have to be really confident in what you're actually playing.
So with all that in mind, I decided to have another take of the scene where I really commit to throwing the ring. I know it's technically cheating because it's not the first take of the scene, but you know, I wanted to get that ring throw right, and as you can see, I'm still warming up the way that she warms up. I've been hurt too, you know? You've done things to hurt me. Cruel things. Not just thoughtless, cruel. On purpose. Oh God, I hate you. Look at that girl committing. Oh God. You bore me. And look, I'm gonna give a breath after the scene so the editor has something to cut to. Look at that. So comparing these two takes, especially without the sound on, I can see how vastly different they are. That's something a lot of CDs do, is that they watch the tapes with no sound on so they can see how people come off on camera just using their facial expressions. And already in the Maisie Williams version, I have so much more light in my eyes. There's so much more fight in me. I think it's so much more interesting to watch. Maisie Williams' technique basically boils down to what is your moment before? And by cycling through lines or your character's inner monologue, you're really tapping into that moment before and connecting to your character. I mean, look right here. Look how alive my eyes are in the Maisie Williams one versus the other one. And while it took me another take to finally perfect that prop work, I think I got to where I wanted to go in this scene so much more faster with the Maisie Williams technique than with just a cold read. Overall, I would highly recommend trying this if you're looking for a tool to add into your actor toolkit. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Which take was your favorite? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click thumbs up and to click subscribe. It really means a lot, especially for smaller channels. And if you have any ideas on what actor I should try to emulate next, let me know in the comments. I'd love to take your suggestions. Overall, thanks for watching and I'll see you next video. Bye!